Is it qui or is it qua? Is it li or is it la? What's the difference of these Italian words? Now, learning Italian can be tricky at times, especially when it comes to those tiny words that seem to overlap in meaning. Take qui versus qua, li versus la. 4 terms that all relate to location, yet each carries its own nuances. But don't worry, in this lesson you'll learn exactly how to use them and their subtle differences in meaning. And don't worry about taking notes, I've done all the hard work for you. To help you to practice what you're about to learn here today, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet with all the vocabulary and examples from this lesson. Just click on the link in the description box below this video. Pronti? Are you ready? Iniziamo! Let's get started. In Italian, qui, qua, li, and la are adverbs of place, which means they help us describe where something happens or where someone or something is situated. Now, while English typically relies on just here and there to convey location, Italian is a bit more nuanced. Now, understanding how to use these 4 location words and their variations come down to one key concept: the distance between the speaker and the location being discussed. Take a look. Near, here.
Qui, qua,
Far, there.
lì, là.
In this lesson, I'll explain this concept in more detail so you can express yourself more clearly in Italian. Let's start with how to use qui versus qua. Now, in Italian, both qui and qua mean here and are used to refer to something or someone close to the speaker. However, they are used slightly differently. Now, qui indicates a specific location. Think of it as if you're almost physically pointing your finger at a precise spot.
Qui non c'era niente 15 anni fa.
Nothing was here 15 years ago. In this sentence, qui points to a specific location. Qua, on the other hand, refers to a broader, less precise area around the speaker.
Qua non c'era niente 15 anni fa.
Nothing was here 15 years ago. Here, qua refers to a wider generic area. The good news is that Italians often use qui and qua almost interchangeably, relying more on intuition and common usage than strict rules. So while it's helpful to understand the subtle difference, you won't go wrong if you follow your ear and intuition. Now, even though they are pronounced with a stressed vowel at the end, qui and qua do not require an accent mark. Students of Italian often learn this with a little rhyme, which goes:
Su qui e qua l'accento non va.
Literally, on qui and qua, the accent doesn't go. And here's a fun fact. In Italy, Donald Duck's nephews are actually named qui, quo, and qua. This playful naming mimics the sound of a duck's quack, which is qua qua in Italian. Now, when you want to be more precise, you can combine qui and qua with various prepositions or adverbs. Here are the most common combinations you'll see.
Quassù.
Or
Qui, qua sopra.
meaning up here. For example,
Hai provato a dare un'occhiata quassù?
have you tried looking up here?
Qua giù.
Or
Qui, qua sotto.
meaning down here. For example,
Non si vede nulla da qua giù. Dobbiamo salire più in alto.
we can't see anything from down here. We need to climb higher.
Qui, qua vicino.
Meaning near here. For example,
C'è un bancomat proprio qui vicino.
there's an ATM right near here.
Qui, qua dentro.
In here. For example,
Le chiavi sono qui dentro.
the keys are in here.
Qui, qua fuori.
Out here. For example,
Vado a comprare i biglietti. Tu aspettami qui fuori.
I'm going to buy the tickets. Wait for me out here.
Di qui, qua.
By here. For example,
Per andare al supermercato dobbiamo passare di qua.
to go to the supermarket, we need to pass by here.
Da qui, qua.
From here. For example,
Non è molto lontano da qua.
It's not far from here. Now, to learn how to use all Italian prepositions, make sure you watch this video lesson here. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. Now, here are some handy Italian expressions featuring qui and qua to add to your vocabulary, starting with
Eccomi qui.
here I am. Use this to let someone know that you've arrived or you're ready. For example,
Eccomi qui. Da dove comincio?
here I am. Where do I start?
Eccoci qua.
Here we are. We've made it. Now, when you and others have reached a destination or completed something, use this phrase. For example,
E dopo ore di cammino, eccoci qua.
and after hours of walking, we've made it.
Qui, qua, casca l'asino.
This literally means here the donkey falls, meaning here's the catch or here's where the problem lies. Use this to point out a tricky or problematic aspect of a situation. For example,
Il progetto è fantastico, ma qui casca l'asino. Chi paga?
the project is fantastic, but here's the catch. Who is going to pay?
Qui lo dico e qui lo nego.
This means I'm saying it but won't take responsibility for it. Use this when you want to mention that you don't want to be held accountable. For example,
Qui lo dico e qui lo nego. Stanno per partire dei licenziamenti.
I'm saying it but I won't be held responsible for it. Layoffs are about to happen.
Qui, qua ti voglio.
This means I can't wait to see this. Use this to emphasize a particular moment where you intend to make a point. For example,
Procediamo. Ma poi, e qui ti voglio, dovremo spiegare al cliente l'aumento dei costi.
let's proceed, but then, and I can't wait to see this, we will need to explain the increase in costs to the client.
Di qui a una settimana, un mese, un anno.
Within a week, a month, a year. This is used to specify the time frame within which something is expected to happen. For example,
Di qui a un mese avremo una risposta.
within a month we will have an answer.
Da quando in qua?
Meaning, since when? Use this to express surprise or indignation about something that has happened or changed. For example,
Da quando in qua rispondi così a tua madre?
since when do you respond like this to your mother?
Qui e ora.
Meaning, here and now. Use this to stress the importance of focusing on the present moment. For example,
Dobbiamo pensare al qui e ora, anziché essere intrappolati nel passato.
we must focus on the here and now rather than being trapped in the past. Now let's take a closer look at how to use li and la. Now in Italian, li and la refer to a place that is far from both the speaker and the listener, much like the English word there. However, there's a subtle difference between them. Li is used when you want to point to a specific, well-defined location.
Lì c'era la mia vecchia scuola.
My old school was there. Here, the speaker might be indicating the exact spot where the old school once stood. La is used for broader or less precise defined areas.
Là c'era la mia vecchia scuola.
My old school was there. In this case, the speaker is likely referring to a more generic area, like a neighborhood, rather than a specific point. That said, much like qui and qua, Italians often use li and la, meaning there, interchangeably. Attenzione! Always remember to include the accent on the I in li and on the a in la when writing these adverbs. This is crucial to avoid confusing them with the Italian pronouns li, the masculine plural, and la, feminine singular, also a definite article, which do not carry accents. To learn more about Italian pronouns, make sure you watch this video lesson here. Now, to be more specific, you can enhance your descriptions by combining li and la with other prepositions or adverbs, similar to what we saw with qui and qua. Take a look at these examples.
Lassù,
Or,
lì, là sopra.
meaning up there. For example,
C'è un'altra camera lassù.
there's another bedroom up there.
Laggiù,
Or,
lì, là sotto.
meaning down there. For example,
Quel paese laggiù è dove abita mia nonna.
that village down there is where my grandmother lives,
Di là.
meaning in the other room. For example,
Anna è di là. Te la chiamo?
Anna is in the other room. Should I call her for you?
Lì. Là dentro.
Meaning in there. For example,
Le pillole sono lì dentro.
the pills are in there.
Lì. Là dietro.
Behind there. For example,
La borsa è là dietro.
the bag is behind there.
Lì. Là fuori.
Out there.
È lì fuori ad aspettarti.
He is out there waiting for you. Now, many Italian expressions using li and la are commonly featured in everyday conversations. Let's take a look at a few, starting with
Farsi più in là.
to make room, or literally to move further over. For example,
Potete farvi più in là? Così aggiungiamo una sedia?
can you please move over so we can add a chair?
Al di là.
Beyond, on the other side. For example,
Hai visto quel leprotto al di là del fosso?
did you see that little hair on the other side of the ditch? Don't confuse al di là with al di là, which is the single word meaning the afterlife.
Lì per lì.
At that moment, right then. For example,
Tuo padre mi ha offerto un lavoro, ma lì per lì non ho saputo cosa rispondere.
your father offered me a job, but at that moment I didn't know what to say.
Lì per.
On the verge of. For example,
Non ho mai visto Maria così arrabbiata. Era lì per mollarle un ceffone.
I've never seen Maria so angry. She was on the verge of slapping her.
Giù di lì.
Approximately, more or less. For example,
Quella borsa le sarà costata 500 euro o giù di lì.
that bag must have cost her 500 euros, more or less.
Più di là che di qua.
Meaning more dead than alive. This is used figuratively to describe someone who is in a very poor condition. For example,
Dopo quella caduta era più di là che di qua.
after that fall, he was more dead than alive.
Essere in là con gli anni.
To be an older person, or literally advanced in years. For example,
Mio nonno è in là con gli anni.
my grandfather is getting old,
Siamo lì.
meaning roughly or about that. For example,
Belli questi occhiali, ma quanto ti sono costati? 1.000 euro? Siamo lì.
these glasses are nice, but how much did they cost you? 1,000 euros? Yeah, about that.
Ma va là.
Come on, I don't believe it. This is an informal expression. For example,
Ma va là. Non ci credo che parti da sola.
come on, I don't believe that you're leaving alone.
Va là.
Come on. Now this is an informal way to downplay someone's actions. For example,
Va là che ti conosco bene. Non riesci a fare quel lavoro.
come on, I know you well. You can't do that job.
Chi è là? Chi va là?
Who's there? Now this is used in military contexts to ask who is approaching, but also playfully in everyday life. Here's a fun fact. Chi è là is a beautiful line from the first act of Puccini's La Bohème.
Alto là. Alto là.
Halt! This is a military command used to stop someone right away. Also used playfully. For example,
Alto là. Ho appena lavato il pavimento.
halt! I've just washed the floor.
Sul chi va là.
To be on guard, or literally on the lookout. For example,
Marco sta sempre sul chi va là per paura.
Marco is always on guard for fear.
La la la.
Now, this is often repeated to interrupt a conversation or action that's annoying or embarrassing, often accompanied by a gesturing like covering the ears. This is often used by children to show that they are fed up. For example,
La la la. Non ti sento.
la la la, I can't hear you. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. Now in Italian, li, la, qui and qua are often used in combination with demonstrative adjectives and pronouns like questo, meaning this, and quello for that, to specify or emphasize locations. Here's a simple guide on how to use these combinations.
Questo più, qui, qua.
Now use this to talk about things or people that are close to the speaker. For example,
Ecco mio padre Luigi. E questa qui è mia mamma, Angela.
here's my father, Luigi, and this is my mother, Angela.
Non mi piace quel melone. Vorrei questo qui.
I don't like that melon. I would like this one. And then we have,
Quello più, li, là.
now use this to talk about things or people that are further away from the speaker. For example,
La fermata più vicina è di fronte al panettiere. Quella lì. La vede?
the nearest stop is in front of the bakery. That one over there. Do you see it?
Vorrei quella maglietta là, per favore.
I'd like that t-shirt over there, please. Attenzione! Be cautious when referring to people with questo or quello, combined with li, la, qui or qua, as it can sometimes come off as impolite or dismissive. For instance, if you're at a bar and you see someone approaching your boyfriend while you're getting drinks, you might say,
Cosa voleva da te quella là?
"What did that girl over there want from you?" Now here are some expressions that mix qui, qua, li and la. Now sometimes qui and qua, meaning here, li and la for there, are combined to convey different nuances. Here are some common expressions that mix these adverbs.
Qua e là.
This means here and there, and you use this to talk about something scattered in various places, highlighting a sense of disorder. For example,
Mio figlio lascia sempre i suoi vestiti qua e là per la casa.
my son always leaves his clothes here and there around the house.
Di qua, di là.
This, that. This is used to emphasize the repeated occurrence of something, often with a series of annoyance or frustration. For example,
Enzo è così vanitoso, non fa che dire io di qua, io di là.
Enzo is so vain, he keeps talking about himself, saying I this and I that,
Da qui a lì.
meaning from here to there. This is used to talk about the distance from one point to another. For example,
C'è così tanta nebbia che non si vede da qui a lì.
there's so much fog that you can't see from here to there,
Ora qui, ora lì.
meaning now here, now there. For example,
Stefania è sempre in viaggio. Ora qui, ora lì.
Stefania is always traveling, now here, now there. Now to continue your learning and to help you practice, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. And if you enjoyed this lesson, don't miss my lesson on how to cheat your way to fluency with modal verbs, which you can watch right here. Plus, master Italian word order and sentence structure by watching this video lesson here. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more video lessons like this one. Un abbraccio. Ciao!